Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the free hour. My name is Trevor Turner. And today we're going to be doing the very first video in the ABCs of tree. That's right, letter A. It's going to be talking about affirmations. A is going to stand for affirmations. And what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about, one, what affirmations are. We're going to talk about why they're so important for us, especially when it comes to terms of our free hour and how we make these small changes into our life that we're implementing these new things. And we're going to talk about some of what traditional affirmations are and why they might not have been working for you in the past. And we're going to talk about some of the methods that I have used to make effective affirmations that I've used in my life. Okay, so let's dive right in. So basically, affirmations there's something that you state as a fact. There's something that you can say that's positive or encouragement. But then also affirmations just basically means saying something that you believe to be true. Now, one of the things that goes behind this is that affirmation implies conviction based on evidence, experience, or faith, along with that support or encouragement. So not only is it saying something that you want to be true and saying something that you want to be a fact, but it's also kind of goes deeper than that. And that is something that you already believe to be a fact, saying something that you believe to be true. So when we say positive affirmations, a lot of times what we're trying to do is we're trying to replace our negative self-talk with new positive beliefs. And the way we do those things are affirmations. And we say those things with belief. We say those things with conviction. So basically what affirmations are, just to break it down even further, if life was a movie, affirmations are you sitting down to write the script. If your life was a movie, affirmations are you sitting down to write your lines, to write what you are doing throughout your day-to-day life, what you do, what your outcomes are going to be. So one, we're going to talk about some of what traditional affirmations are. We're going to talk about how to implement them into your life. So some of the traditional affirmations that I've seen, the ones that I love, I actually like saying these things to myself, even though I came to find a better way of doing them for myself. But basically, it's just something that you want to reinforce self-confidence. You want to reinforce something that you've committed to changing, reinforce something that you feel like you've been lacking in your life. It's just something, and they normally start with, I deserve, I'm worthy of, I'm capable of. Saying something that I attract. It's saying something that I'm committed to. It's encouraging yourself to become also, along with reinforcing this self-confidence. I'm committed to becoming. I will become. I am constantly becoming. I am fully devoted to. Now, one of the things that I like to do, especially in my free hours, I like to take a couple minutes and I like to look at some of the areas in my life that I feel like may be lagging, or I feel like maybe suffering or going through some things. And I will tell myself some things. And I will give myself some positive affirmations, basically just to overwrite the negative self-talk. When I start getting down on myself from my past, especially my past, especially the things that I've done, the way that I've hurt people in the past, the way that I've, my relationships, my relationship with my family, things like that. And that stuff starts to come back to haunt me. I start to remind myself of what I've committed myself to. I start to reinforce my self-confidence. I start to tell myself, you know what, I'm committed to becoming a better person every single day. I'm committed to adding value to the people around me. I'm committed to putting a smile on my mom's face, or my sister's face, or my brother's face, or whoever's face that I talk to every day. And one of the things that happens is that when I start to repeat these things to myself, and I say them with belief, and I say them with conviction, I say them with a faith that just transcends just here and goes down and deeper into here, is that it starts to overwrite and it starts to overrule that negative self-talk, that guilt, that shame that I may have. And so what we're going to do, especially when it comes to this free hours, we're going to start to tell ourselves what we deserve. We're going to start to tell ourselves what we're worthy of. We're going to start to tell ourselves what we're capable of. And that way, when our negative self-talk tries to come into play and say, you know what, that's just the way things are. You know what, you don't have the education to get a better job, or you know what, you don't have the skills or the talent, or you don't have this or you don't have that. You're going to start to tell yourself, you know what, I deserve a better workplace. I'm worthy of being loved. You know what, my body is worth being cared for and adorned in fine garments. I am capable, I'm just as worthy and just as capable of anyone else is achieving success in this world. And those are the things that we're going to start doing, especially in our free hours. We're going to start at ground zero. This is where we lay our blueprint. This is where we start rewriting our script for the sequel of our life. This is where we start to turn things around. Instead of trying to just dive in and just do everything right away, we need to start with the building blocks. And these are the building blocks, is that we replace our negative self-talk with these good things that we're going to start to tell ourselves, that are going to fill ourselves with confidence. We're going to fill ourselves with joy and happiness. We're going to shift our perspectives. We're going to shift the way we look at things, and we're going to start doing that so that we can turn things around. And that's what affirmations are. Now, the next step of this, if you've had experience with affirmations, sometimes what we're told or what we've learned to say is fake it to make it. Or even in Think and Grow Rich, they talk about auto-suggestion. Now, one of the things that we might do, one of the reasons that a lot of these affirmations didn't work for me at the beginning, is that we can't lie to ourselves, okay? Now, we can tell ourselves what we're committed to becoming. We can tell ourselves what we deserve. We can tell ourselves what we're worthy of and capable of. And we can tell ourselves what we're devoted to every day. And that is helpful and that is good. But what we can't do is we can't lie to ourselves. We can't say stuff like, I'm successful, or I'm a magnet for success, or I'm a millionaire, or I'm this and I'm that. We can tell ourselves, I'm committed to being successful every single day. I'm committed to being better today than I was yesterday. I'm fully devoted to becoming a millionaire by this time. I'm fully devoted to having this much money in my bank account by this time by doing this. But we can't just tell ourselves, hey, I'm successful. Hey, I'm a millionaire. Or, you know what, I'm gonna read this many books a month, knowing we ain't read a book since Pac died. Knowing that we have been working at the same dead-end job forever. Knowing that we haven't taken a single step to improving our lives. And knowing that all we've got so far might have been the shit end of the stick. We can't lie to ourselves. What we need to do is we need to take these affirmations and we need to tailor make them for ourselves, and we need to build our affirmations to order so that way we can build our life to order. So one of the things I'm going to go over with you is I'm going to talk about how I took my affirmations from I am successful, I'm a millionaire, I have a millionaire mindset, I am this, I am that, down to something that actually helped me change my mindset, down to something that actually is helping me to the point where I'm now actively trying to add value through this concept called the free hour, where I'm now actively trying to write my book, where I'm now actively working on the things that I want to go for that I was never going for before, because my mind would always tell me you're not good enough. Why would you do that? Don't nobody want to read what you got to write. You a felon. You just a dude that was doing drugs and selling drugs and gang bang and all that. Who wants to read what you want to write? Who wants to hear about this positivity you talking about? And what I did is I overwrote that negative self-talk through goal-based, objective-based affirmations that had to do with becoming the person I needed to become. That is how I got the affirmations to work for me. Now, this may not be something that's necessary for everybody. There are people out there, and if you're this person, amazing, great. Thank God. I thank God for that every day, that you are capable of doing this. But I wasn't the one who was capable of saying, you know what, I add value to people around me. Because my mind would just scream at me, how? How do you add value? What do you do to add value? I know my worth. What are you worth? 4 years? 4 years, 8 months in the pen? Is that what you're worth? You're worth $100 a month going to the store? Is that what you're worth? You're worth an Obama phone? Is that what you're worth? You're worth minimum wage because that's all you ever got paid? I mean, your mind is the most detailed, negative, harsh, thorough critic of you. And what we need to do to create these effective affirmations to work for us is we need to make them just as effective. We can't just stop at what we want. We have to talk, we have to sell what we want. We have to tell how we're going to get what we want. We have to tell ourselves who we're going to become to get what we want. We have to tell ourselves when we're going to get what we want. We have to tell ourselves what we're going to do to get what we want. So that way, when I say to myself, you know what, I'm capable of achieving my wildest dreams. When your mind asks why, you have an answer. I'm capable of achieving my wildest dreams because I'm going to fully devote myself to becoming a caring, kind, and compassionate person that adds value to people, adds value to everybody I interact with through the free hour, through the concept that I used to change my own mind and change my own perspective. That is such a more effective, such a more detailed, such a more goal-oriented, and just basically just such a better affirmation than just trying to say, you know what, I add value. Because I've told my mind and I've told that negative self-talk that has been with me for so long and that is so detailed and so thorough exactly what it needed to hear to shut the fuck up. Period. Point blank, period. So this is what we've been talking about. We've been talking about affirmations. We're talking about breaking it down, making it small as it needs to be believable for you. So that way we can say, you know what? I'm worthy of a workplace. I'm worthy of a better workplace. I'm worthy of a peaceful workplace. I'm capable of getting a better workplace because I add value to everyone in my workplace. And then we start describing the person we want to be. And if we don't know who that person is yet, then we start making our affirmations geared toward the person that we need to become to get these things. We start thinking about who it is that we need to be to achieve our goals. You think about what it is that you want to achieve with your life. You want to be in a great, just amazing shape, and you want to just be super attractive when you take your shirt off. Then what does that type of person do? What does that type of person look like? I mean, obviously what they look like. They look great with their shirt off, but what does their day look like? What do they do? When do they wake up? What do they eat when they wake up? Do they eat when they wake up, or do they work out first? What do they eat throughout the day? What kind of activities do they do throughout the day? Is the type of person that it's the type of person that has the things you want to have, are they doing the same things that you're doing? If the answer is no, here's where affirmations come in, because affirmations help you lay the groundwork and plot out a course for what it is that you want to do. So one of the affirmations I had when I got arrested is that I wanted to have a body that was healthy, that was functional. And I have all my joints hurt when I got arrested. My back hurt when I got arrested. I had all sorts of things going wrong with me. I had high blood pressure, hypertension, just all sorts of stuff. My stomach was hanging out on the block, like it was hanging out like some wet clothes. You know what I'm saying? It was bad. Not only the way I looked, but my health, the way I felt. Walking upstairs was a motherfucker. I just was. So I thought about how I changed this. And this is where I found out that, these everyday cookie cutter affirmations weren't working for me. I found out that I had to make them detailed. I found out that I had to think about not only what I had to do, but what that person looked like. And I started making these affirmations geared towards becoming that person. I am a person who is mindful of what goes into his body. I am a person who is mindful of what exercises I do. I am a person who energetically engages in physical activity. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to do my little workout an hour a day, and then the next 23 hours, I'm just going to sit there and do nothing. I'm going to eat whatever I want because I worked out, and that's fine. That's all good. But one of the things was I just found out that wasn't working. I found it wasn't working. And I was having to get on medication for my blood pressure was so high that they were shocked that I was even walking around when I got arrested, to, now being more healthy. Stuff is under control. I'm able to run now. I'm able to walk up the stairs. Even more importantly, I'm able to walk up the stairs without losing my breath. And the beginning building block of that was affirmations. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our first free hours, okay? We're going to use our first free hours to develop our own affirmations. And we're going to talk about how we make, through our affirmations, we're going to talk about how we make this year the best year of our life. We're going to talk about how we make this year the first year of our life. We're going to talk about how we turn things around, and we're going to tell ourselves these things so that we can focus on the person that we need to become, and we can start to believe that we are capable of doing these things. We can start to believe that we deserve these good things to come to us. We can start to believe that we're worthy of these good things. Because once we start to believe that we're capable, that we're worthy, that we deserve, then we can start to believe that we're committed. We can start to believe that we will become. We can start to believe that we are constantly becoming. We can start to believe that we're devoted to doing it, because we won't take those actions if we don't believe that we can get what it is we want through those actions. If we don't believe that we're worthy of them, then what's the point of doing anything? If we don't believe we're just as capable and just as worthy, just as deserving as the next person of achieving the things that we want, of having that loving relationship with our significant other, with our kids, or having that great work environment, or having that salary that reflects the value that you bring to the table, or having that relationship with your family, or having that positive mindset, or getting yourself in good shape, getting your health back under control. If we don't believe that we're worthy of those things and we're capable of those things, then we won't take the actions to do it. So that's why affirmations are important. And we need to make them as small as we can so that we can believe them as well. We can't lie to ourselves. We can't just go against years and years and years of programming, of self-talk, of following this script that we've been following, that we've been given by the world around us, by inadvertently by our parents, inadvertently by our siblings or the people we've grown up with, by school, by all the things we see on TV, all this negative stuff that tells us, you know what, we're not as good as that person, we're not as good as this person, or we're not good enough to get what it is we want, so we may as well give up and just go work at the gas station or something like that. Or even if you're that person who never thought that lowly of yourself and you just want to get over the hump into something new, you have to realize that there's no such thing as know your place. There's no such thing as know your place. You're just as deserving. You are just as worthy. You are just as capable. And that's why affirmations are so important. So like I said, we're going to take these first free hours and we're going to start to develop affirmations. We're going to start to tell ourselves things that we not only want to be true about ourselves, but we are going to start to believe to be true, because we're going to say them with conviction. We're going to say them with faith. We're going to say them with belief and with emotion. And we're going to pour ourselves into these things, and we're just going to simply do it for an hour a day. And obviously, you may not be able to do that for the first full jug. You may not be able to do a full hour. You may be able to do a good, 30 minutes on the first day, writing down all your stuff because you're so excited about doing it. And then the next day you might give it a good 6-7 minutes, whatever. It doesn't matter that you give the whole hour at the beginning of it. What matters is that you stick to that time slot. You stick to giving yourself that hour of freedom. You stick to giving yourself the hour away from emails, phone calls, texts. You give yourself that hour away from doing all those things that cause you that stress and make you feel the way that you're trying to get away from now. And what you were going to do is we're going to focus first on affirmations. Okay? And then what we're going to do next week is I'm going to do another video on called the Free Hour Book Club. We're doing a whole lot of firsts, man. 2024, because I just got out. I've been waiting years and years to talk about all of this stuff, man. We're going to be doing the ABCs of Tree. I'm going to be blogging. I'm going to be doing my vlogs. I'm going to be doing book reviews called the Free Hour Book Club. I'm going to be doing all sorts of stuff, man. And you know what? It's going to be real exciting, man. I'm so just thankful that anybody who watches this video is here for the beginning of this journey. And anybody who watches it later on, I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful for it. You know what? Because you know why? Because I told myself when I got locked up that I was deserving of a changed life, that I was worthy of being something different than just a number. And this is me acting on that because I made the affirmations and I wrote the script that changed my direction. I wrote the script that made the sequel that broke away from everything else that's been going on in the franchise because I've been doing all this negative bullshit for so long. And I'm using these affirmations to do something different. And that's what I want to help people do. I want to help people do it just 1 hour at a time. So next week, we're doing the Free Hour Book Club. The week after that, we're doing our very first body weight workout little video. All this stuff is going to be very short stuff at the beginning because I don't want to hit you with the whole jug, the whole hour full at the beginning when we're just starting to get into this habit. So even when I was locked up in the cell, 23 hours a day, and I was trying to devote myself to the full hour, I couldn't do like a full hour of just positivity and like different stuff. I couldn't do it. So I'm going to give it to you piece by piece, man, the same way I gave it to myself, the same way that worked for me. And I'm going to share and add value to people, man, just like these things have done for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Tap in with me next week. Free hour, man. Get it in 1 hour at a time.